Hello, greeting from Singapore.
Greetings.
So apparently she has forgotten to unmute herself. And so welcome to Dharma Discussions. And tonight we're going to talk about the language of love.
Yes, and it's Jody, my husband.
And that's Lynn, my wife.
So thank you for joining us again tonight. We're so happy to be here with you.
Yes. So the reason why we created this is to allow us to have a safe environment, a space for us to discuss anything controversial, sensitive.
Any kind of topics. Anything that kind of topics that we love to talk about.
Yeah.
Just bring things up. But we try to avoid, religious or political topics. Just really things that we feel would harness love and deeper understanding within ourselves and for each other.
Right. And so tonight we're talking about the language of love.
The 5 love languages, actually.
Oh, there are 5. Right, good.
Yes.
So that can totally confuse us, right?
Yeah, there's so many languages. There's 5 main ones that this guy called Gary Chapman came up with. He came out with this book a couple of decades back.
It's called The 5 Languages of Love. Have you ever come across a time when you try to do something just to express your love to someone, and the other person just simply didn't get it?
Yeah, like I didn't receive it. Like you didn't get a response you were hoping for.
Yeah.
You guys had that before?
To me, something as silly as that, I really carved out some of my time so that I can be with my loved ones. And yet when I am with her and she was not there, constantly doing that. And when I'm speaking to her and she'll be doing that again, she'll say, yeah, I'm listening to you.
And multitasking.
Yeah, and that kind of like upset me a bit. Yeah, and I don't feel that, okay, I am being appreciated.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Unless it's something like a really big topic, we need to like look at each other's eyes and talk about. If it's just like a day-to-day update, I take it very lightly. But yet for someone like him, he takes it more seriously. He wants undivided attention.
Yeah, I do. I don't need all the time, nor do I need a lot of time. As long as I'm there, just be present with me. That to me is very important. And the other thing to me is very important is the touch. Not necessarily sexual touch. It's just simply touch, kiss, a hug. All those things to me is also very important. It is my gesture of showing love.
And I think the language is interesting because, like you mentioned, just like languages that we speak, English, Chinese, whatever the multitudes of languages we have. And if we don't connect with each other in the same language, then how can we connect?
Yeah. As a result, that
if you speak one language and I speak another, and I can't understand your language to me, or vice versa, then as much as the intention is there to love, you don't seem to be receiving my love, and vice versa. And that could be a problem with couples when we can't show the appreciation appropriately to the person who's giving it, or vice versa. Yes.
So that's probably the reason why someone actually come up with this whole theory and identify there are 5 languages.
Yes.
And we can look into them. What are the 5s?
And it's a free online quiz on the website. You can just go check it out. It's like 5 minutes. How long do you take a 5 minutes quiz? You just did one just now.
It took me actually less than 5 minutes.
And the results are the same, right? From the last time you did it.
Yeah, it is the same. But what this one did for me was it actually indicated the percentage, right? So there are 5. So if you equally spread, it's 20% each. But I'm very much slanted on 2, and the other 3 are just. So like more than 70% of my 5 languages of love fall into 2 categories.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It's
so
quite
you read the result. Did it make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how I would see. How I would like to express my love to the other person, and likewise if someone does that to me, that's how I would feel being loved. Right?
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna go through the 5 of them. If any of you have done this test before, just share with us in the comment section what your love languages is.
Yes.
I said languages because sometimes we have 2 very high or just 1 that's very high. So either 1 or 2, whichever. If you could share it with us, it'd be great. So now we're gonna talk about the 5. We're not experts in this, but we just want to go through all 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, first one, in no particular order. The first one is words of affirmation.
So what does it mean?
So people who value words of affirmation, they would like verbal acknowledgement, affection, words of affection, frequent like I love you, compliments,
You're
words of
beautiful.
appreciation, yes, words of appreciation, verbal encouragement, etc. So it's very verbal.
Yeah.
And this is my highest for me.
Yeah, and in fact, if you according to study, this probably is one of the highest or most popular ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the general public, a lot of
For
people,
men and women.
men and women, yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
like to hear words of confirmation to be affirmed, right? And I thought it makes sense. Interesting enough, that is not my highest. Not even the second. It's probably in the third.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't have too much words to say things, but
so it's hard for me because then I would crave for it. I'll try to dig it out of him, like, how do I look today, darling? Because I'm trying to get a compliment. I'm trying to fish. I'm always trying to fish for compliments.
And I would just look at it, yeah, you look good.
I'm like, what's that? That's not what I want. Then I feel like really deprived.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe like I would cook a nice meal for the family and cook you something nice. And most of the time, I would say, yeah, generally most of the time, you were wow, it smells good, tastes great. It makes me feel good. Because it's, again, words of affirmation to affirm that I've done a good job. Basically, for me, that's what I want to know, that I've been acknowledged and appreciated. And it comes a lot from words.
And as for me, words of affirmation is not my highest, but quality time is one of the top 2, right? We'll get to that. So I would use a different way in expressing that appreciation. I would sit down and have the meal with you. That's my acknowledgement.
I realized that I'll start my meal without him.
Yeah, for me,
he will wait for me to eat.
Yeah,
I thought it's really sweet, but it doesn't make me feel loved.
Yeah,
but I know he does it because of respect, and maybe I thought it's his culture.
Oh, but it's manners to me.
Yeah, it's
how I
manners in
was
your
raised.
culture, and it's not how I was raised. I mean, you're hungry, you eat.
Right.
You don't wait for everyone to sit down to eat together.
If
you can, it's nice. If not, then you just start without them.
Yeah, for me, I was
it's so different, no?
Very differently. And when I was a child, you definitely cannot start the meal without at least
the
elderly, or if there is a guest of honor.
I followed that too. Like, my mom is here, I would definitely want her to eat together with me, and I want her to start. But if the rest of you guys are not there, I'll just start.
Yeah.
I won't take offense if you started to eat first with my mom.
Yeah.
You know, but I realize it's quite different for him. So that things like that we got to kind of learn.
Yeah. To me, is about spending that time with you to eat, because I could have eaten first.
Sure.
Or you could have eaten
coming
first.
Back to the words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is this one of your love languages where words of affirmation is important, or is your spouse or your partner love language is words of affirmation? So things that you can do to help, though it's not your it's not your style, it's not your thing, but it's not about you, right? It's about the other person.
Yeah, I think
how he or she interprets love. So you want her to feel that she's loved, then maybe you need to get out of the comfort zone and do a little bit more that maybe will help your other half.
Well, that's the interesting part, is we can go back to that later. One theory of it is, okay, this is not my language of love. This is not the way I express it, but this is the way that she needs it. So if I am doing it just to make her feel, will that not sound ingenuine? So that could be one.
Yeah, maybe. So one of the things you could do is just maybe send a love note, a text, or give her a card, or surprise with something sweet. You don't know how to write it, go and Google it and just copy paste,
Okay.
But
So-
of course, it's something that you feel. You can copy paste something that someone wrote, but it has to be something that you genuinely actually feel. And you give a genuine compliment. Small things like, oh, that looks really nice. Things like that. You just need to learn how to do it.
Yeah. To me, that I would feel that it sounds ingenuine. When it is a compliment, then I will make it as a compliment. But when it just simply,
No, I don't like purposely everything like, oh, so nice. It's like so fake. When I know what you mean. I've had friends who is so overly complimentary, like keeps
My point,
complimenting
exactly.
you. Then you're like, and she compliments everybody. You're like,
Yeah.
Then I don't feel complimented because you do it for everyone.
True.
Yeah.
So this is the art where we get to learn, right? How to actually learn how to feel your love language without.
He's so bad.
being
Even
genuine.
talk dirty, he can't even do it.
No, it's just not.
I'm
genuine.
like words. I use the words, and I will talk, and I will write. He will listen.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why I have a pair of ears, right, instead of mouth.
So going to the second one, so that's words of affirmation. Okay, the second one, which you say is your second highest for you, is quality time. And quality time, people like him, people who love quality time are those who really adore their partner, giving undivided attention. Listening, active listening is very important. Not just listening, active listening.
Well, I think to me,
Full presence, eye contact.
yes, to me, also it's a form of respect. So I will do exactly the same to you. If you were to talk to me and I choose to be there, to be with you, I might as well be present.
Yeah.
Yeah, if not, I would rather be somewhere else and do my own things. So why waste my time sitting there but not being there?
Sure.
Yeah. So quality time to me, it is one of my highest.
But I do listen to you.
Yeah. So now I get to learn. When she said she's listening, she could be multitasking, doing a million things, right? I'm not too sure whether she's actually listening to my words or not, but I assume that she
I'm
is.
listening, I've been blowing my hair. Like, tell me what happened just now. And then you tell me, I'm listening.
Yeah. I've got a bit deaf. I will not be able to hear.
Yeah, but I'm very good at listening. And then you tell me a bit, oh, then why like that? Oh, did she say that? Then I will have interaction with you. So I'm not like just, it's just you saying I don't get it. I'll be questioning. I'll be interacting with you on it. So I'm listening.
Yeah, one of the amazing things that she can do is also she can blow her hair, watch YouTube, and then listening to music and have a conversation with me at the same time.
No. If I have a conversation, I will mute the sound. But without you, I can do all these things. I can sing song, watch show, do my hair, do my makeup, all at the same time. Yes.
Yes, she can watch two movies concurrently at the same time.
Yes.
So to me, it's.
Of course, I don't catch everything of it.
That's my point, right?
Which I'm fine with.
That's my point. So to me, being present is very important, and quality time is not quantity, it's the quality. So if you choose to spend the time with, be present. So that's the way I feel that I am being loved, or that's also one of the ways that I express my love.
Yeah, I enjoy spending time with you. We spend a lot of time together.
I know.
I know he especially loves to spend time with. Yeah, so I'm like, now he doesn't travel anymore, but in the past he travels practically every week, and I'm totally fine because I'm not the kind who needs a lot of time with my spouse.
Yeah, but when I am here with her, then I will be, and particularly in bedtime, for example, go to bed at the same time.
Yeah.
So don't bring your computer, your telephone, and then you go and watch your YouTube while your partner's lying there looking at you. Say, all right, so I'm not supposed to sleep alone. Why am I sleeping in the same room with someone who is watching the YouTube?
Yeah, so I don't do that so much. And then we sleep together every night at the same time, right?
Really?
Yeah, you sleep first, I cannot sleep, I will leave. Like, you sleep first, then I go out and do other things.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But we sleep first together. Then if he's sleeping sound and I can't sleep, then I'm gonna do something else. Like go watch a show, go catch up with some work.
Yeah. Anyway, move on. So quality time. So if quality time is one of your highest languages of love, do let us know and share with us how you feel about it.
Yeah, so taking walks together, we do.
Yeah.
Take walks together, just the both of us. I like that very much. Just to like download and talk and catch up.
Yes.
Without the kids distracting us and the drama with the kids or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or work, away from the computer, away from the phone. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Weekend getaways, we used to do that a lot. We travel a lot together.
Yes.
Yeah, and also celebrate special moments. So people who love quality time, these are things that they look forward to.
Well, not too much for me in terms of like celebrating special moments. I don't remember the dates, right? But to me, it's just every moment when there's an opportunity to be together.
And it's very sweet that way. That's true.
Yeah. So it's not about the date. It's about just simply any opportunity.
That's what you see. You always make a time to look for me. When you come home, you always kind of find me first.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very sweet, right? He always kind of kiss me when he's back. He goes off somewhere. He comes back. He'll look for me first. Like where am I in the house? And he comes and find me.
Yeah. So when I'm leaving, well, this is the thing that I kind of learned, right? So when I leave, I never know. It could be my last time seeing you.
Yes.
And when I come home, it's like grateful I'm seeing you again. So
I just noticed that he does that a lot. I don't do the same.
Yeah.
But I'm home.
Yeah, I do that to my parents as well. So the first thing I do is I will always go and reach out to my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've since I was a kid, I've been doing that. So yeah, obviously that's one of my highest
it's the second language of love.
But it's not far from
Your
my
first.
first. No.
I can't remember quality time. Maybe it's my third. My first is words of affirmation. Okay, number 3. Acts of services. So you value your partner when they go out of their way to do something for you, like when you're sick, cook you soup, make coffee for you in the morning, make breakfast for you in bed, run errands for you. Like someone who goes out of the way to help you with your load or your chores or something that's going on in your life. And acts of service.
Yes. Not one of my highest.
Not one of mine. But I remembered the story that was shared where the couple, where the woman is always about words. She loves to hear the words, but her husband doesn't do it. Doesn't write her love notes or grab her physically and things like that. But he does everything for her. He will always make sure that her things are done in a certain way, that she always has hot coffee when she wakes up in the morning, make sure that her bed is a certain way. He does all these little things on a daily basis for her, but she didn't feel it because what she wanted was like the physical touch. What she wanted was the words. But all he does is all these things that she had to start to recognize that this was his love language to her. That he indeed loves her, though he doesn't say all these flowery languages that she wishes to hear. But he does all these things for her dutifully every day. Oh yeah. He will know exactly when she's coming home and before she reaches home, lights will be on. Yeah, things like that,
Yeah.
But it took years for her to then realize.
Yeah.
She was very unhappy for a long time because she took that for granted. And of course, for him, obviously, he felt very hurt because this is everything. Every day I do this for you. And that's my way of showing that I love you. So it's very good to be able to identify what makes your other partner ticks. Even though you don't do it, maybe you could notice and you can try, or at least you can appreciate that, hey, this is how he is showing his love for me.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so even though you are not able to give him or her what she wants completely all the time, you can try, or at least be able to identify her love language or his love language to you. Then you're able to feel, okay, now he does love me after all. So if you have spouses who like you to have acts of services, make them breakfast, go out their way to help them alleviate their daily load. This will make them so happy, and you get lucky in bed, like that kind. Sometimes I see like guys will complain, my sex life is not as active as I would like. But then if they don't know what makes their wife tick, then how? She doesn't feel love, then it's not going to happen,
Or vice versa. So if your spouse's language of love is act of service, it doesn't mean that you will like the service that she provides. And then you complain about it. I didn't ask you to do this. I can easily do it myself, and I probably can do a much better job. And you start criticizing. Yeah,
maybe that's not her love language.
Probably it was. I don't know. So I think it's important not just to pay attention, notice, but it's actually to identify what are the languages of love. B, communicate it. And so I know this is yours, and I appreciate your gesture.
Maybe you do it, and I didn't even realize you're doing it for me. I think maybe you're getting my way.
Yeah.
And you're irritant, and then you're like, "What's this? I'm trying to show my acts of service to her, and she's just being so ungrateful and so critical and so hurtful." And bugger this thing.
Yeah.
So then you create another problem within the marriage. All these are the small things that just lazy accumulates. Accumulates. Yeah.
And that's pretty bad. And if you do, and you feel that you're being deprived, and then you can't, and then suddenly someone provided you with that.
Oh yeah, can you imagine if like words of affirmation is my thing and he doesn't provide it to me, and some guy along the way, I don't know, some guy I work with or whoever keeps saying, "Oh, Lynn, you look so beautiful," or gives me the thing that I crave, then I'll be quite drawn towards this person, no?
Yeah.
And naturally, because he's saying the things I want to hear, or he's doing the things like I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that is true. So that shows how important it is for us to understand and to communicate and to learn more.
I don't feel like this love languages is the be all and end all. It's just one of the many things that we could just be aware of.
Yes.
That helps.
It's not about the intention, we know, but it's about the how and the what to communicate through.
Correct.
Yeah.
So let's go to the fourth one.
Right. So that was the act of service, right? What is the fourth one?
Fourth one is gifts. These are people where they feel loved when people give you visual symbols of love. It doesn't have to be expensive. So it's not like, I must buy expensive gifts. No, it's gifts that has meaning, and it went through a lot of thought process and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has a lot of symbolic meaning and value to it.
Yeah.
It's a very deliberate action you took. You went somewhere, you saw this, think about, I don't know, the love you have for her, and you buy it with her.
Yes.
It could be a book that she mentioned to you, that she used to like this writer, and you went out your way to get this book for her. Something like that. That shows that you paid attention, you went out of your way to do it, and you gave her a gift that symbolized your love. Yeah, so people like that are the gifts people.
Yes. It's definitely, again, not one of my highest.
It's not one of my highest.
No. But then again, I also come to learn to appreciate that when I receive gifts, whether I like the gift or not, that's not important, but really to appreciate the gesture and to thank.
I also appreciate your gifts.
Yeah. I try to when I didn't know, right?
Though I specifically tell him don't have to buy me any bags and stuff because I'm so particular.
Yeah, then obviously I didn't know about that, and then under the influence of other spouses,
other people, telling you know what, women like bags, you must buy for her.
When they say no, it means yes. When they say yes, it means no.
And I told him I don't want bags from him because the bags I want are a certain price point and a certain brand, and it's okay. I don't expect it from you. I can buy it myself.
Yep.
So just don't buy me anything. It's better that way.
And then there goes this personal, hand-printed, the one and only. I said, good. I didn't even have money for that, right? So I had to go and borrow money to go and bring that back for you. And then you just say, yeah.
Yeah.
said, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, so those things happen.
So I broke his heart, but I don't want to use that bag. I used it once, right? I used it once.
Yeah, I actually quite like that bag myself. I thought it's quite an
Would
art
you like
piece.
to use it?
If I can,
doesn't suit.
it doesn't suit me, but it is quite an art piece.
It's like a
I would say.
clutch.
It's the painting on the clutch. Anyway,
So
move on.
Things like that we must learn about each other.
Yes.
Yeah. But
So-
isn't it good that your wife don't expect you to buy expensive gifts for her? I
Well-
choose everything I want. Precisely. They just get that.
Yeah.
So easy, no?
So, but it's not about the gift itself, but it's about the gesture
I know,
of going
I
out,
really
find out.
appreciate it. I like your laughing Buddha,
My
the
laughing Buddha.
pendant.
Yeah.
I like it because I love laughing Buddha. I think got me a really pretty jade pendant with that. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Tiffany locket you gave me in the beginning of our relationship. He says, I give you the key to my heart. I was like, oh my God, this the love language.
Yeah, I think
It's
that
the
was
words.
Yeah, I just could have just saved
Just hooked
that
me.
money and just simply set that and give her a card. That would have done the trick.
No. The gift was nice. I remember it till now. The key, it's like, oh, give me a key. It's just the key to my heart. Oh, then I get so high.
Yeah.
Just remember all these things.
Yes.
So people who like gifts is again not necessarily expensive, just really meaningful gifts. Small
Yes.
little things like this makes them really happy. Yeah. So we have some comments. I find it interesting that expressing a love language is different to receiving a love language. I also agree. Like I'm not a gift person. I don't like people buy me gifts unless there are things that I absolutely want. So I'm okay people not buying me anything. Buy me a meal, for example. But I like to buy gifts. And I buy a lot of gifts and I buy for a lot of people and I buy very good gifts. Don't you think?
Yeah, she thinks she buy a very good gift.
I don't.
So that's an interesting part. Receiving and giving may not be the same, right?
True, because I give a lot of gifts generally my whole life. Ever since I started earning money, I would buy lots of gifts for my family, close friends, staff. I love to give them nice gifts.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like to receive gifts because I'm afraid that they give me something I don't want, and then what am I going to do with it? So I'd rather not. So it is a very interesting point. I also agree with that. I noticed that about myself.
Yeah.
Though you say that acts of service is not your thing, but you do a lot for me.
Yes.
I mean, at least because I don't expect it, and if he does it, I notice it, and you do it for me, like practically every day. Yeah. What I mean is the complexity of understanding each other and customizing expressions of love to the other language.
Yes, it is not quite as easy. This just languages of love makes it easier in a way for us to
kind of identify. It's just like a big category, because all five are important. Is how I wanted to say this. Like all five of this is something that we must do for our partners anyways.
That is true. But in
what proportion do you spend the time in, I guess?
Yeah.
I do all of them for you, and you do all of them for me.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and I think that's necessary to do all five.
But in particularly, what are the one that is most sensitive to me? Mention about the quality time. That's expensive.
Next one, his favorite.
Oh, that is my highest.
This is his highest, and thankfully, it's my second highest.
Okay.
Thankfully, right? Imagine if it was my fifth or nine.
Yeah. So physical touch.
People feel love when they have physical touch, of course. Holding hands, cuddling, hugging, sex. So physical intimacy is like a powerful emotional connector for them.
Yeah. That's my highest of all.
So my second.
Yeah. So that's how I feel that if you hold my hands, so when we walk, I would love to hold our hands.
Yeah,
all the
I
time.
like that too.
Yeah. I like the
we are the kind of
cuddles
PDA type, public display of affection. We are like.
Yeah, but not overly.
No lah, we don't French kiss and do like fondling in public, but like grabbing of ass, like I like his butt.
Yeah, but we don't do that publicly, do we?
Yeah, we do. You do that all the time. You think no one's looking, you do it.
It doesn't mean that I am publicly demonstrating that. It was just at that moment.
Correct. Me too.
Yeah.
But we always hug, we kiss.
Yeah.
We like that.
Yes.
But the funny thing is, I only like it with him and with my kids. I don't grow up in a family where we hug our kids. So it's not our culture here in Singapore. We don't do this a lot here. Not in my family either. I don't hug my sister or my mom. It's just not what we do.
No, yeah. So I come to learn about that too. I need to be very, very sensitive about it. In Singapore, people not even handshake, right? Not because of COVID, but even in the past, they don't handshake, they don't hug, they don't kiss the knee, they don't even bow. They just go,
Yeah.
But to me, as Indonesian, we're quite affectionate, and I still today, every time I meet my father, my mother,
Yeah, they kiss, right?
Kiss, right? Even my brother-in-laws.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, the whole family would. Yeah, you kiss my mom and all is fine, but yeah, but
No, okay.
yeah, it's not our culture. Though, of course, I've learned when I, start going out to work, I go out around the world, I see it, and if necessary, I can do it and I can receive it. The friendly one, I mean, the French people for the last 18, 19 years, so that's what they do. These kids and all, it's very common. So that's fine, but day to day, I don't do it. And I don't feel comfortable if people, like strangers or even friends, get too physically close to me. I don't like. Like I really don't like to be physically close to someone. Like I wouldn't go for dancing class without you. Like those like salsa must touch me. No. I would not like it. Like someone hugging me or touching me too much. But it was you, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah. So those are the 5 languages of love. In which particular order are you, and in what percentage? Just going through the test and you will find out.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend you to communicate that with your partner.
So people like you who like physical touch, of course, like we mentioned all these things, and making intimacy a priority. So let's say you have a husband who has this on his number 1 priority, or a wife who has this as number 1 and yours isn't. Then what do you do?
Yeah, and that's the part, huh?
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why I had a problem with my ex in the past. This is my number 1 priority, and she somehow doesn't like to be touched.
Physically intimate?
No, not quite. Maybe it's because of me. I don't know, but I just didn't.
You mean like you touch, she goes like this, like ink?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough for someone who values intimacy, physical intimacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was tough.
But I got one theory for that. If you don't want to have sex with your husband, then someone else will. Okay, so ladies, you decide lah. You decide what you want to do.
Yeah, that's what someone said, right?
If you don't have sex with your wife, someone else will. So you guys go work it out and have more sex. I think it's important.
Yes.
Whatever's comfortable for the both.
Right.
And I know that sex is very important to him because during our wedding vows, he mentioned it 3 times. I have it on record.
Okay.
Which is why I laugh, because it's him and he's very honest about it, which is fine. We must build our passion, keep the excitement, build the passion.
Yeah. So words of affirmation definitely is not my highest.
You did such a good job with the vow. It made me cry.
I did. More important is this the right word at the right time to me. But I do understand that is your highest, and I have to go to learn what is the appropriate time to say it in a very sincere and genuine manner, right?
Yes, correct. Sean made a comment here that I know what I want, but I'm not sure what you want. So if we can understand and give each other what we both want, then it just makes it a bit more harmonious.
Yes, it is.
So this test helps. Like you first, I would know what am I. I did the test a few years ago. I did it again just before this episode, and it's the same.
That was it.
I thought, go check it out again.
But interesting enough, this is not just for couples.
Oh yeah, it's not. For
this
parents,
also applies to
for work.
Yeah.
So they kind of extended this love language further for couples, for singles, for work environment,
and also
kids.
to children.
Yeah.
And also to children. Each one of us somehow do want and express love. And this language of love kind of like give you an imprint. So go and do the test and find out about it. Know more about yourself. But it's nothing to do with personality. It's not a personality test.
No. I think there are lots of other kind of tests as well. You can
Yeah.
look into. This is just one small, easy one to digest and just be wary of and try. It could create wonders and change a lot of things, you know.
But it would be a very good communication tool to start to understand each other, to appreciate each other. Knowing the intent, but knowing how you express that is very important.
One of my friends did the test, and she commented to me that, oh, I did the test, and her highest was words of affirmation. But she commented that maybe it's because my husband doesn't do it. Maybe that's why it's my highest, because I'm craving for it.
Well, if you don't want it, then if the husband does not do it, does it matter?
She felt that the reason why that one was her highest is because he doesn't do it. Maybe he does the other stuff, but he just doesn't do this particular act and this particular love language more. So that's why it became the highest for her.
Well, yeah. And the fact that she focused on this one probably says a lot too, right?
That's true, maybe. That's true. So what other ways could, couples connect well and communicate better?
Well, communicate is an art. Communication is an art. There are many ways to communicate. And this probably is a good way, hence it's called the language of love. So that word itself says a lot. But how you actually express it and how you want to receive it, only you know.
Yeah. I have friends who they arrange like a so-called mini forum. Like in EO, in the organization when we first met in Entrepreneurial organization, there's this thing they create called forum, where a bunch of entrepreneurs come together once a month and they would share, like, business, personal, family, like the
issues
or situation highs and lows, but the highest of the highs and lowest of the lows. So I know of one who arranged this with his spouse. So they will have a monthly session together. Like, I will call it like a forum, where they just find a place that's just for them, no distractions, no TV, no phones, or nothing. Not quite a date night either. They really come prepared with a reflection of the month, like some kind of an update, like how they felt about certain things, and they took the opportunity then to talk about it. Sometimes cry about it, sometimes just going through stuff. And that doesn't mean it's stuff between the both. There could be stuff that the wife is going through with a family member, or him with whatever he's going through. And then that's the point where they really sit down and truly listen. And they will do it for like 2 hours. Yeah, and it helped them to connect well, and then the sex life became better.
Yes.
And when they stop doing that discipline, then they start to drift. This is like a married couple for maybe 10 years, married for 10 years, they have kids, etc.
Yes.
So this is something they implemented and seemed to work when they were doing it with discipline every month when they met.
I think this is one thing a lot of people missed out. I included in my previous relationship. We do take things for granted. We think it is a destination. Once you're married, you set your vow, and that vow hold on forever.
Without the worker.
No, it doesn't, does it? You do need to maintain it. I suppose that's the cost of maintenance.
That was my biggest fear, right? I shared with you when we wanted to legalize our marriage. I was really in fear that I do not want things to change between us, and I do not want each of us take each other for granted just because we signed a legal document. I mean, I'm so fine without it. If you're gonna do it, I don't want us to take each other. I don't want myself to take it for granted, or take the relationship for granted. Neither do I want you to take me or our relationship for granted. I was really adamant. I was so scared about it. But I didn't want you to think that just because I didn't want to sign the dotted line meant that I don't love you, I don't want to spend the rest of my life with you. But I was so scared that if I did it and we guys started taking each other for granted, then that's not what I want. I'd rather not do it in the fear of it. So I just needed to talk to you about it. And when we talked about it, I felt okay.
Yeah.
And so we did it.
Yes. So creating the space, having difficult conversation. Difficult doesn't mean it's about a topic. It's just simply emotionally.
I had to share my fear. I had a lot of fear around it. And I brought it to my forum. But there's nothing for me to, they say, oh, do you want to do a presentation? I'm like, no, I don't need to present to you guys anything or hear anything from you. I just need to talk to Jody. I just need to tell him how I feel.
Yeah.
And that's it. And only he can alleviate that fear. None of y'all can do it for me.
Yes. And quite often having the conversation is just needing to express and to be heard.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean there is a problem that needs to be solved.
There wasn't one. It's just my own fear.
Yeah.
My trepidation, and it's holding me back. So if I didn't bring it up to you and I went through that whole thing, I may not go through it with peace,
Yeah.
So I'll carry the fear into that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what we want. And you keep thinking, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Like the bad thoughts.
So understanding that, having that listening skill helps. Yeah. Just there to listen, to understand, not necessarily to respond or to have an answer.
No.
And these 5 languages of love creates that platform for us to understand.
So other than these 5 languages of love, what else is there out there for couples?
I don't know. Anyone who's got some tips you can share with us in how you actually communicate, express,
like
or
what
receive.
else is there out there that we couples could tune into or do or whatsoever that would be, that would help to make things like delightful. Because when I Google it, it's always kind of church related. Nothing against it, it's fine. I'm just saying that, I don't have a neutral one that is not church related. Yeah, even if you read up on love languages, you will see it ties back to Christianity as well, which is fine. Again, it's just, just for you to note that it does tie back. Somehow the roots goes back to the Christianity part.
Oh, okay. I said that was probably an earlier form of educations to talk about love explicitly, to express what love.
But I think the church does a very good job because they have all these programs for couples pre-marriage, right?
Yes.
They call it some kind of course or something.
Yeah, I went to premarital counseling.
Oh, premarital counseling.
Yeah,
it's like
counseling.
free even, you don't have to pay
It is.
50%.
You have to go through it before they can actually.
You went through that.
I did go through
How many days?
It was a 10 days for me.
10 days in a row.
No. So they were.
Yeah, I heard a lot of Catholic couples do it. Like in Philippines, they all have to do it before they get married.
Yes.
Like they have to do it.
The understanding is one thing, but actually in practicing it is another.
Theoretically, it's this way, but whether you do it in action, with intention, good intention is different.
Yes, but there's this practicality, understanding that we are all different, and then building on that differences instead of trying to mold the differences into something.
Or to make the person change.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
So how do you do it for us?
I think that's the reason why we created this, right? Just create the space, and in this space where we can be just simply me, just throw it out, and also give that respect to if someone is speaking and just listen to understand. There's no judgment in here. It's not right, it's not wrong. It's just I need to understand.
What if you both have very strong differing views on a topic and you feel so adamant about it?
Well, to me is, can I agree to disagree? Is my action going to affect you? I think that is the part that we need to go and look into it.
Because we would debate about certain topics. Like for example, now we're choosing a new school for our son. And we agreed that the current school is okay, but we want to find something better. And so he found a school that he likes. I went to see the same school. I don't feel the exact same way. I mean, I feel the same way, but different. I wanted to explore other things. So things like that, we spend more time talking about it.
Yeah, just keep on talking until we both come to an agreement. If don't, then
I can't argue his point of view.
Yeah, because I'm very passionate about it.
Yes, and I will be like, I'm not so sure whether this school can really do it all. Like, it can only seem to, I know. So I have my point of view too. So we're not aligned with the school, with the choice of the school, but we're aligned and we want the best for our son.
That is the part that we can both agree on.
Yeah.
What is the best? If we have two, I don't know, come to worst, experiment on it.
Yeah.
And just to find out what is best. And we'll see.
Yeah. Because the last thing I want is to agree with what he chooses without my wholehearted okay. So then what happened is I can totally see, something goes wrong. I'm like, you see, I told you. I thought that's good.
Yeah, she will do that.
Yeah,
She'll totally do that.
Yeah, I so know myself. So the last thing I want is to do this to him. So I need to be able to agree wholeheartedly. So I won't come back and bite him about it. So I'm not fully okay yet.
So using the 5 languages of love, knowing words of affirmation is important to her, that's the part I need to acknowledge. Just simply acknowledge, okay, and then affirm what she's saying, and then work on it, and weather through the differences.
Yeah. So we're going to look at 3 more schools, and we're going to have to then decide. What the path we want for our son.
Yeah.
Which includes not just education, it's like educating on values and building character.
That to me is the most important. That to me is.
But as a Singaporean mom, I worry a lot about the academic part. Where, and I know I'm not highly educated, and I don't believe in the A's and the stuff, okay? But having said that, my fear is I don't want my son to go into the primary school system here and be like, I don't know what's going on, and feel stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm worried that I don't want him to feel that he's less than, because he's definitely not. But if the school isn't getting him ready for it, then he goes into the primary school feeling like, oh, maybe I'm not that bright.
Yeah.
I don't want that to go into his head when they are young, because in Singapore it's so easy for those kids with low grades to feel that way for a long time.
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
I've seen it with my friends, I've seen it with, family, and I really don't want that for our son.
So here's the affirmation part, right? I totally understand that. I can see that from your point of view, affirming what she says.
Yeah, so we keep talking about it and we come to some kind of compromise. Okay, if we go to this school that builds character, and if I don't feel that academically he's ready, we need to be able to send him to extra classes. And you must be prepared to bring him there for the classes, because he has more of a free and easier schedule than I do.
Yeah.
So these are things like that. So I feel, okay, I can compromise with this school if only we're going to find other things which could help me alleviate my fears. Then we can compromise.
Yeah. Well, to her, it's a compromise. To me, it's a win-win.
Okay, last thing, now we win.
Yeah.
I'll change my language.
Because in my case, because I went through exactly that, right? I didn't
fit in.
Well, not only did I not fit in, I was one of the kids that could not speak nor understand what the teacher said.
Oh yeah, because you went to Hong Kong.
I did.
At a young age. You don't speak Cantonese.
No, I couldn't speak a word of Cantonese, and me being Chinese and not being able to speak Chinese.
Well, yeah, you don't speak Cantonese.
No.
What is this, right?
Exactly, and the teachers didn't have a clue. But the interesting part of it was, earlier on from my upbringing, I think it's that confidence. Yes, I was constantly being scolded, punished, being told that I was stupid. But then again, I knew I wasn't. At a very young age, I knew I wasn't, and I managed to get the attention of the principal.
Yeah.
And I became his favorite. nobody was able to touch me.
So I hope our son has that gift because I'll be the one. Oh, I'm stupid.
Well, not knowing doesn't mean you are stupid.
I know, like, but it was like me, like, go to school. If I didn't get the grades A, I would feel like I'm not smart. I won't say I'm stupid, but I don't feel like I'm smart.
I was never an academic,
Mm.
but I always am. I was always a student that everybody knows. Teachers will always know about me.
People don't know me, but infamously, that's my bad reputation in secondary school.
It's not because I seek attention.
No, me too. I don't. I get all the bad attention.
But throughout the whole process of education, it was not the academic that I learned, but it's the skill set to learn to be a human being, to learn to be a person, to learn how to deal with adversity. If I failed in examinations, I don't score A's. I have to deal with that, right? I don't mean that I didn't score 8 because I was lazy about it. I just simply could not fit into that system. Yeah.
So any parents out there in Singapore can advise us on a good preschool around the District 10 area. Please let us know.
Anyway, so to me, it's not that important. But anyway, because affirmation is important to her, so I would need to go and acknowledge that part.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I think this coming Thursday you have another masterclass, right?
Yes, I will be talking about how do you actually handle conflicts.
Yeah, that's the one. Dealing with conflict.
Yeah.
When you say conflict, do you mean within couples, business, the people in general?
Anything.
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 Topic.
How do you actually face conflict? More importantly, what does conflict mean to you in the first place, right?
Correct.
And then how you actually
Because
face
people
it.
don't want to confront. Confrontation is a big no-no in certain cultures.
A lot of cultures say it's a big no-no, but there's certain personality loved it. But the minute they see
you feel I
conflicts,
love it?
No.
But I'm very confrontational.
Yes.
I can be.
Yes, you
I
are.
got it from my dad.
I know.
Definitely.
Yes.
Bless his soul, he's just like that. He's like 打抱不平, like very into justice. What he feels is justice.
So
He must speak out.
So at the end of the day, what do you want to get out of that conflicts?
True.
What is the objective? Is it about to win
True.
and someone needs to lose, or is it okay to achieve a win-win?
I've also learned through the years that certain things is not worth my energy or time to confront.
Yeah.
But with things with us, I will confront. Things that are important in terms of business or people who are close to me, I'll find a way to confront it. I'll talk about it. At least bring it up.
It doesn't mean that's confrontation.
No. It's not like it's not going to be I've also learned how to not do it so to your face. And not so aggressively.
Yeah.
But to be able to still confront it, I think it's important.
Yes. Well, the word that I would use is not about confronting it. The word I would use is attend to it.
Approach the topic.
Approach the topic in
Approach
a
it
wise manner.
Yeah, respectfully and all. It still can be done.
Yes. And then coming back to this 5 languages of love,
Okay.
that by knowing the other person's language of love helps you to communicate.
That's true.
Because you're not there to beat the person up.
No.
Yeah, but if it is built on the same language of love, you can achieve a lot more.
So there's a different way of speaking the different types of love languages, people.
Yeah. If I know if I'm into a negotiation with someone, and if I know that person's language of love.
Negotiation is different. When you go for negotiation, it's always knowing what the other person wants to achieve. Then you try to use that to get what you want.
Well, that's partially, but the other part is if you know the person's language of love, you can then share that and make that person feel that they are being not loved but appreciated.
Correct. I think everybody likes to be felt acknowledged and appreciated, but now it's in the way that they can recognize. So I guess the love language is where when you do it correctly, is how they can recognize that, hey, he or she does appreciate me.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you also know what your own languages of love are, and in what particular order, then you can also be aware when someone is doing something not to the language of love that that you like to have, you don't take it too personally.
Correct. Or you just keep hinting and hinting for the next like years, like how I did, like it's my love language, it's my love language. Hopefully they will get it, neck and neck.
Okay.
So next week we're gonna talk about another topic, which is when couples start a family. There's little babies in the middle. That our babies bring us closer together, or do they drift the couple apart?
I actually see another part of it too.
Which is
I think I do see a common trend. I can speak for myself.
okay.
In my first marriage, the baby then becomes the only thing that we
Holds
want to hold
together.
us together, and that, to a certain extent, I think it's very dangerous.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. My ex-husband was happy with just that. Like this, oh no, it's fine. Just run our business and just take care of our kids, and that was it. Like, it's fine.
And
You can live the rest of your life like that. I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
So, but some people are willing to do that. It's good enough. Like, it's fine. Like, a marriage can just be about the kids that holds us together.
So next week, I think we're going to talk about that, fill in the details.
That when you have kids within a couple, do they drive you apart?
Next week is the 31st, isn't it? And then will be Halloween night. And when we are
That doesn't matter. I'm not out.
okay.
And if you guys can't watch the live broadcast, you can always watch the rec. You can always watch it later.
Yeah. And do comment on our Facebook.
I'm not gonna dress up, huh? In case you're thinking about it, I'm not.
Okay. So, well, thank you for being with us for this week.
Yes, thank you for being with us. I hope to catch you guys next week as well. Do drop us some comments if you have, privately or in the group, in this comment section. We really appreciate it. Any topics you'd like to hear about, we're happy to discuss them too.
Until next week.
Until next week.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye.